People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. A tele-reminder from Teleradyo Marcelo, ang telearalan ng bawat Malulenyo.
Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo. Sa gitna ng mapanubok na panahon, magkahatid sa kakakibat ay diskusyon. Sama-sama tayo, kahit magkalayo. Sa programang ito, tiyak ang pagkatuto. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo.
Good morning, Del Piloyan. Welcome to Teleradyo Marcelo, ang telearalan ng bawat Malulenyo. I'm your teacher broadcaster for today. I'm Miss Clarissa J. Popon from the Junior High School Mathematics Department from Marcelo H. Del Pilar National High School. Our lesson for today is all about ratio and proportion and solving problem involving proportion for Mathematics 9 Quarter 3 for Week 5. Teleradyo broadcaster and scriptwriter and PowerPoint presentation maker, Ms. Mary Grace B. Guevara. For the content standard, the learner demonstrates understanding of key concept of parallelogram and triangle similarity. For the performance standard, the learner is able to investigate, analyze, and solve problems involving parallelogram and triangle similarity through appropriate and accurate representation. For our MELC, describe a proportion for number 1. For number 2, applies the fundamental theorem of proportionality to solve problem involving proportion. You are expected to, our learning objective, define, illustrate, and give example of ratio and proportion. Applies fundamental theorem of proportionality to solve problem involving proportion. For our engagement, have you seen the map of your barangay or a house? Blueprint done by an architect? No matter how large the land area of your locality, it is always possible to view all the main street and main landmarks in a piece of paper. Moreover, from a piece of paper, a beautiful house can be constructed into a reality. These two are only few of many of real-life applications of mathematics. Concept called similarity. In geometry, two objects are said to be similar if they have the same shape, even if they are in a different size. An object similar to other can be obtained by uniformly stretching or reducing the same amount of all direction. In the world of similarities, it's very important for you to study the concept of ratio and proportion. Ratio and proportion play the vital role in study of similarity, which will be discussed in succeeding self. For our review, let us define first ratio. Ratio is the way to compare two or more quantities. It says how much of one thing there is compared to another thing. Quantities involved in ratio are the same kind so that the ratio does not make use of units. However, when quantities are the different kind, the comparison of the quantities that considered the unit is called rate. A ratio can be written in different way. A fraction, using the word to or using the colon. The ratio of A to B can be written as follows. Another example, out of 35 survivors of COVID-19 in a certain barangay in Pasig City, 20 of them are males. The ratio of number of males to the total number of survivors in the barangay can be written as follows: 20 to 35, 20 to 35, or 20 is to 35, which can be read as 20 to 35 or 20 to 35. In order, the ratio is a very important, such the quantity should be written in the order they are be listed. Moreover, the ratio may also be reduced to the lowest term. In the given example, out of 35 survivors of the COVID-19 in the certain barangay in Pasig City, 20 of them are males. Ratio of male survivor to female survivor, 20 to 15, or the equivalent ratio 4/3. Ratio of female survivor to total survivor, 15 is to 35, or the equivalent 3:7. Ratio of total survivor to make survivor, 35 to 20, or 7/4, the equivalent ratio. Hello there, proportion. Let us define now proportion. A proportion is the equality of two ratios. It is an equation in which there are ratios on both sides and can be written in two ways, as two equal fractions or use of colon. Two equal fractions, use of colon. The proportion above can be read as A is to B as C is to D, or A is to B is equal to C is to D. In a proportion A is to B is equal to C is to D, the outer term A and D are called the extreme, while the inner term B and C are what we call the means. The outer A and D is what we call the extreme, and the inner B and C is what we call the means. We have the fundamental rule of proportion. If A is to B is equal to C is to D, then A to B is equal to C in D, provided that B is not equal to 0 and D is not equal to 0. Properties of proportion. We have the cross multiplication property, alternation property, additions property, and the last one is the subtraction property. We can use either of the notation of this fraction or in column form in finding for and the unknown in the proportion and the cross product property on proportion. Along with the other properties of equality, it is very helpful in solving. Let's have example number 1. Solve for the value of x in x is to 5 is equal to 12/15. For our solution, cross product property, 15 times x, 5 times 12. We have 15x is equal to 16. And we need to divide both sides by 15 and we get the value of x is equal to 4. Let us check. We substitute 4 in the value of x. 4 times 15 is 60. 5 times 12 is 60. The product of the means is equal to the product of the extreme. Let's have example number 2. So for the value of x in the quantity x minus 3/7 is equal to 27/21. For our solution, cross product property, 21 multiplied by the quantity x minus 3. By the distributive property, we get 21x minus 63, and 7 times 27 is 189. By the addition property, we have 21x is equal to 252. We need to divide both sides by 21. So the answer is x is equal to 12. Let's move on to our example number 3. solve for the value of x in quantity x minus 5 is to quantity x plus 3 is equal to 2 is to 6. For our solution, we need to multiply the extreme and the means. We have 6 multiplied by the quantity x minus 5 is equal to 2 multiplied by the quantity x plus 3. So we have 4x is equal to 36. And divide both sides by 4 to get the value of x, which is 9. Okay, it's your turn. For activity number 1, test yourself number 1. Direction. Solve for the value of x in the following proportion. Show your complete solution. I gave you 20 minutes in each, 20 seconds in each number. So for number 1, we have 4 over x is equal to x over 9. Find the value of x. The timer starts now. Okay. Julian Patricia, 9. X is 9. Okay. And the timer stop. And the answer is 6 or negative 6. Okay. So for number 2, 18 is to x plus 4 is equal to 9 over x minus 3. The timer start now. Okay, very good, Nika, Julian, Zahara, JC, Carl, Rona, Julian Patricia. Okay, the timer stop. And the answer is x is equal to 10. Let's move on to number 3. For number 3, we have quantity x plus 2 is to 6 is equal to 7 to quantity x plus 3. Find the value of x. Okay, very good, Lorraine. Crystal Gale, Thea, Jairus. Job well done, Del Pilarian. Gabe, Thea Quibin, Riley Albania, JC Nicole. Okay. And the answer for number 3 is x is equal to negative 9 or x is equal to 4. Okay, for number 4, the quantity x plus 6 to x minus 3 is equal to x, the quantity x plus 4 over x. And the timer starts now. Carl Del Prado, very good. Lorene Belorio, Maika Aliana, Saara, Ray Malik, Thea Quimbin, Erich Neil Address, si Erica, Isabel Oli Dayaw, and the timer stop. And the answer is x is equal to negative 12 over 5. Okay, let's move on to the last one. Number 5, the quantity x plus 4 over the quantity x minus 2 is equal to the quantity x plus 3 over x. Find the value of x. Okay, very good. Nika Nils Tumaning Marcelo, Maika Aliana Santiago, Thea, Saara, Lorene, Christian Martin, Carl Del Prado, Isabel Oli. Thank you for participating in our activity. JC Nicole, Crystal Gale, Vicente, Riley Albania, And the timer stop, and the answer is x is equal to negative 6. Okay, very good, Lorene Beloria. Jairo Santos, Bienvel Cueva. Okay, let's have a short break. Kindly follow and like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Shout out ko lang po yung mga handle kong section this year. From 9-9, Miss Roda Kaluwag. From 9-10, kay Miss Jarina Cruz. From 9-12, kay Ma'am Luz San Pedro. From 9-14, kay Ma'am MB Lising. And to my advisory class, 9-23, CJ Pabon. And from 9-24, kay Miss Sarah Jane Tanglao. And advance Happy Mother's Day to all the mom who are now watching and listening to Teleradyo Marcelo, ang telearalan ng bawat Maloleño. So let's move on, which is solve problem involving proportion. Proportion can be used to solve different type of problem as it is applied to a lot of daily undertaking. Mathematically, solving problem involving proportion is only a matter of setting up two ratio or fraction equal to each other, applying of the cross multiplication property, and solving the resulting equation using the properties of equality. Moreover, an important factor in working with proportion is to put the right value in the right places with the proportion. To systematically solve any problem involving proportion, you can use the following step as your guide. For number 1, always read the problem carefully and identify the given and what is required. For number 2, we need to determine a ratio of quantity to be used. This ratio is of your own preference. For number 3, set up the ratio based on the given information in the problem using your preferred ratio or quantities. For number 4, equate the two ratio to form the proportion. And for number 5, you need to solve the proportion. Let's try illustrative example number 1. A cake recipe used 5 cups of flour for every 2 cups of sugar. If you want to make a recipe using 8 cups of sugar, how much cup of flour should be used? So for our solution, the given is 5 cups of flour for every 2 cups of sugar. Let X be the amount of flour needed for 8 cups of sugar. For our solution, we have ratio 5 cups of flour to 2 cups of sugar. X cups of flour to 8 cups of sugar. We have a proportion 5 over 2 is equal to X over 8. Then by cross multiplication product property, we have 2x is equal to 5 multiplied by x. So 2x is equal to 40 and divide both sides by 2, we get 20. You need to use 20 cups of flour in a recipe that uses in 8 cups of sugar. Let's try another illustrative example, number 2. The height of the pole and its shadow is proportional to the height of the length of the shadow of a nearby building. If the 15 meters pole has a shadow length of 7 meters, find the length of the shadow of 45-meter building. Given height of pole is 15 meters and the length of shadow is 7 meters. Let X be the length of the shadow of the 45-meter building. For our solution, we have ratio of quantities height to length of shadow. For the ratio, we have 15 meters over 7 meters to 45 meters to X. By the proportion, 15 over X is equal to 45 over X. By cross-multiplying, we have 15x is equal to 315. And divide both sides by 15, we get the value of x, which is 21. The length of the shadow of the building is 21 meter. Okay, thank you dun sa mga advance magsagot. Okay, for our illustrative example number 3, a steel bar is cut into two parts. The ratio of 5:7. Find the length of each proportion if the steel bar measured 24 feet. We have the given ratio of 5:7. Let x be the shorter portion of the steel bar. So the quantity 24 minus x be the longer portion of the steel bar. For our solution, shorter portion versus 2 longer portion. For our ratio, 5:7, or x is to 24 minus x. So proportion 5:7 is equal to x over quantity 24 minus x. To our solution by a cross product multiplication, we have 120 minus 5x is equal to 7x. By the addition property of equality, we have divide both sides by 12, and our x is equal to 10. So by substituting x is equal to 10, it is our shorter portion, and our longer portion is 24 minus x is 14. The length of the two portions are 10 meter and 14 meter respectively. Okay, and let's go to last illustrative example, number 4. Two complementary angles are in the ratio of 7:12. What is the measure of the larger angle? Given the ratio of 7:2, let x be the larger angle. So 90 minus x be the smaller angle. For our solution, let's have larger angle to smaller angle. 7 to 2, or x is to 19 minus x. So proportion 7 over 2 is equal to x over the quantity 90 minus x. By cross multiplying, we have 630 minus 7x and 2x. By addition property of equality, we have 630 is equal to 9x, and divide both sides by 9. So our value of x is 70. The larger angle is 70. Angle measures 70 degrees. So it's your turn for activity number 2. Test yourself for number 2. Okay, direction. Read the following problem carefully and solve for the required. Show your solution. For number 1, I'm going to read, then the timer start now when you are answering. So number 1, at the particular day in September 2020, the approximate exchange rate of the US dollar to the Philippines peso is $5 for 245 peso. How much is 147 peso in US dollar? So the timer start now. Okay, Crystal Gail Vicente, Gabriel J. Silioncio, very good. Aaron Daniel Lagi, Isabel Oli Dayaw, Irish Ann Sauro, Era Espege, Lorene Beloya. So the answer is $3 US. You are all correct. Juliana, Patricia, Gabriel, J. Silioncio, Riley Albania, Jairus Santos, Nikki Nelson Tumaneng Marcelo, Rona Joy Manuel Manahan, very good. For number 2, the ratio of girl to boy in the classroom is 8:13. Fine. How many are there in each gender if there are 63 students inside the room? So the timer starts now. Okay, for Crystal Gale, ang sagot niya po is 24 girls and 39 boys. Okay, wala pa po tayo. Okay, the timer is stopped. Irish Ann Sauro, 24 girls and 39 boys also. Let's find. Okay, and the correct answer is 24 boys and 39 girls. Okay, Era Espege, Nikel Nelson, Toman, Jasmine K, Maika, thank you very much for participating. For number 3, the ratio of two supplementary angles is 4:5. What is the measure of the larger angle? And the timer starts now. Okay, thank you, Jelaine. Thank you, Riley. Gabriel J. Silioncio, Bien Bel Gueva, Junel Cueta, Juliana Patricia. Okay, and the timer stop. And the answer is? Okay, Irish and Sauro got it correct. So 100 degree. Christian Martin, Thea Quibin, Rosalyn Del Pilar. So for number 4, a 40-meter electric wire is to be cut into 2 segments, whose ratio is 3:5. What are the length of 2 cuts electric wire? And the timer start now. Isabel Oli Dayao, 100 degree. Bien Belcueva is also 100 degree. Very good. Aaron Daniel. Gabriel Malacuela, Kristen Gale. Okay, and the answer is 15 meters and 25 meter. And Crystal Gale Vicente got it correct. Irish Ann, Nikkei, Christian Era, and Christian Martin. Thank you for participating again. For number 5 and the last number, one piece of pipe is 21 meters long, is to be cut into 2 pieces, with the length of the pieces being is 2:5 ratio. What are the length of the pieces? And the timer start now. Okay, 6 meter and 15, Crystal Gale, Jairo Santos, 16 meter and 15 meter. Okay, and the answer is 6 meter and 15 meter, and you got all it correct. So thank you very much. So Teleradio Marcelo would like to thank the following. Of course, special thank to Ma'am Hilda Mangahis and to all the Teleradio Marcelo production team, and to my Mathematics 9 department from grade 9, of course, me, myself, Teleradio broadcaster, Miss Clarissa J. Pabon, Sir Marlon Atienza, broadcaster teacher broadcaster, Ma'am Grace Guevara, scriptwriter and PowerPoint presentation maker. For our master teacher, Sir Renante Fernando, Ma'am Jocelyn Hernandez, to Sir Chris Bantog, and to Miss Esther San Miguel, and to our very own head teacher for Mathematics Department, Dr. Marco Ronel E. Eusebio. Thank you very much po for my grade 9 family. And thank you so much, dear learner, for your actively participation. And of course, for the respective Math 9 teacher. Thank you and keep
Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo. Sa gitna ng mapanubok na panahon, magkahatid sa kaakibat ay diskusyon. Sama-sama tayo, kahit magkalayo. Sa programang ito, mahalagang pagkatuto. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo, Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo, Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo.